everybody, and welcome to the Scenic Route Astrology. Today, I'm going to be discussing the new moon in Taurus that's happening for us tomorrow, May 11th at 2:59 p.m. in Providence, Rhode Island. So if you're following along with this video, just cast the chart for your appropriate time zone. The new moon is going to be taking place at 21 degrees and 17 minutes of Taurus. So anything around 21 degrees of Taurus, I would use maybe a 5-degree orb will be highlighting those planets that it's aspecting. And so this is a super fertile new moon, and there's some things I want to cover before we go into the aspects with the new moon. There has been a lot of potent energy that we've been experiencing over the last few weeks. The Scorpio full moon for a lot of us had brought to surface deep-rooted problematic areas in our life that needed to be looked at for shifting and for transformation in order for us to move forward in this new path that we're embarking on. This storyline in the cosmos has been playing out, and this new moon is a major part of this story. This new moon, if you want to think about new moons, are a great time for planting the seeds for a project and then starting it once you start to see the moon visible in the sky over the next week afterwards. And new moons are just really good for manifesting new directions, new paths, new ways of thinking, starting something, inviting something in, and the releasing energy before that. So today would be a really good day for releasing, for relaxing, and kind of going in this dark phase that the new moon actually is. We can't see the moon when it's in this phase, so we don't know the outcome. We don't know what's ahead of us. All we know around new moon times is that what we want, or perhaps we think we know what we want, and that we want to actually plant the seeds for it. And because this is in Taurus, this is a time to start and initiate or discover those paths that you want to be taking on now, clearly and directly, because of the Taurus fertility, the ability for Taurus to do something for a long period of time, for great stamina and perseverance. It's an earth sign, so it's just extremely fertile seeds being planted. And I'll get more into that when I can describe it better once we get into the aspects of this full moon. Another thing to point out during this time is that this new moon is going to shift us and start us into the eclipse seasons that are coming up, 2 eclipses that are coming up. And that will be in a separate video. And the first eclipse, the full moon lunar eclipse, isn't until 2 weeks. However, this new moon is guiding us into that season. So it's very important. And we also have 2 planets that are acting out of bounds currently for the next few weeks. And you might already be experiencing this energy, or you might have people around you experiencing this energy. So Mars and Mercury are both out of bounds. And when a planet is out of bounds, it's out of the elliptical orbit of the sun. So it's going to act out of character a little bit more, or a little bit more extreme or over exaggerated. It will know what the rules are, but doesn't necessarily follow them. And this energy will want to do its own thing, its own way. And so Mercury out of bounds is in Gemini. So it's in this very light, communicative, very flirty kind of energy. And Mercury is very comfortable in Gemini. It's in the signs that it rules. So it likes being in this sign. And currently, while it's out of bounds, it might be overly chatty. It might be over exaggerative. It might think quickly or out of character. You just want to look for the communication and the symbols and the signs that come up around the conversations that you start to have with people over the next few weeks, and the information that is that's given to you, or you pick up, or you hear. And Mercury is also beginning its shadow period, and it's going to go into retrograde within the next couple weeks. I will have an article on Mercury retrograde in Gemini soon. I might even put up a video as well. This has been an extremely strong, energetic time, especially for me in my chart. And so I myself need to take my own advice that I'm going to give everyone else during this time, and that is to rest and step back and not burn yourself out with this energy, because Mercury and Mars out of bounds is going to probably make, if you're feeling this already, maybe you will within the next week, because there's so much energy going on, but can definitely make us feel a little bit more anxiety, a little bit more nervous, a little bit more on edge. Mars out of bounds is Mars is in Cancer until June 10th. And so Mars is also acting out of its nature, out of its element, out of its zone, over expressive, overreactive. It might do things that it normally doesn't do during this time. And it is also responsive to the moon, okay, because Mars is in Cancer. So it's in the sign that the moon rules. So it's going to be answering to the moon. And the moon is changing signs every 2.5 days or so, right? Sometimes a day. So that Martian energy is going to fluctuate depending on what sign the moon is in. So Mars in Cancer right now is really hard to kind of deal with like maybe our actions or the way that we want to assert ourselves, our tempers, reactive forces within us might seem like you're on a roller coaster ride. Especially just the two out of bound planets is very intense. It is like that roller coaster ride. So my advice is to actually do it Taurus-like. We're still in Taurus season. We can still utilize those energies to as best we can, especially with out of bounds planets, is to step back and let information come to us, and let our feelings and our emotions and sit with our body, and not be so expressive and reactive right away. Just kind of sit with this for a while, because this is a time for choice, and it's not definitive. It's not, this isn't fate. This isn't a time for fated actions or anything like that. This is, you're going to get choices presented to you, and you just have to decide which way you want to go with the tools that you have and the information that you have. And the new moon will help you build upon whatever choices you are making. And the eclipses that are coming up in 2 weeks will also bring you extra clarity on the choices that you've made. But this is ultimately, there is positivity, and the difficulty of this time is that the cosmos truly want to push you towards the path that you are wanting and desiring and would like to go on. Okay, so let's get into the astrology of this. Okay. So as you can see, I have the chart for May 11th at 2:59 p.m. for Providence, Rhode Island. And I am going to put this here. Okay. Hopefully this works. All right, so as you can see, I have the chart for Providence, Rhode Island. We have a Virgo rising chart for this. And we have Mercury up top and Venus both in Gemini, Mercury out of bounds, and Mars in Cancer out of bounds. And then the new moon will be taking place in Taurus at 21 degrees and 17 minutes Taurus. So the first thing I want to talk about is Mars in Cancer out of bounds is going to be sextile Uranus. Let me see if I can get. Here we go. So yes, Mars out of balance in Cancer is going to be sextile with Uranus. And so here is some energy. A sextile is pretty much an easy aspect. But with this aspect, with this new moon, I think we could be burning ourselves out and over asserting ourselves, especially with the Mars energy, being reactive and overprotective, over expressive, over defensive, over family stuff, home stuff, you know, what gives you security and safety and peace. With the sextile to Uranus, you will get possibly a mix of feelings of wanting to like just go ahead and do like a bunch of stuff and like be so erratic like Uranus is, and like jolts of lightning are just boiling through your blood and like giving you all this intensity and energy to just go, but then you reach a burnout. And then all of a sudden you're just like, you have no energy left. There's nothing left for you to do. So take it and leave it with that kind of energy. Allow yourself, if you get the spark of energy, to come in to do it in something productive, and think about it before you take an action. And it's so hard with the Mars in Cancer because it wants to be reactive to emotions, and it wants to be reactive depending on what sign the moon is in, which is pretty hard for us to do right now because it's always changing. And so we have to really regulate our emotional tendencies and our defense mechanisms with this. Okay, the Mars is the warrior archetype, but when it's in a water sign, it's a little bit more emotional over its defense. So be careful for the words that you use with people. Emotional manipulation. You know, be careful of the way that you choose to assert yourself when you get these lightning bolts coming through Uranus. The healthy way, I believe, to work with this energy would be to know ahead of time when you do get this energy sprout, I don't know if that's a word, but sprout, when you get that jolt coming through, to already know what you're going to put it towards, like already have a plan in place for what you can tackle. Very important, you know. It will give you so much energy at one point, and then it'll just burn you out the next. So, and you want to reserve energy for healing and on all the stuff that's going to be coming up over the next couple of weeks. And we want to be careful because of the air signs in Gemini as well, has the ability to make our minds start going like 50 miles an hour. And we really got to bring it back into the body and back into the center, because if our minds are just going off, like they're going up on the Superman, if you've ever been to Six Flags, you guys know the Superman roller coaster, like Mercury will just be like, Mercury and Venus and Gemini will be taking you up, you know, that roller coaster, and then you could go down real fast because your mind is working so hard, and it's going so fast and it's taking in so much stuff. So make sure that you're nurturing your body during this time, your anxiety, your nervous system. Make time for you know, spa day, make time for walking, make time for working out. A great way to exercise that Martian energy, if you feel like it's going down a negative path, is, you know, just go get a workout in. Go sweat it out, and you will feel so much better after you do that. So the other aspects I want to point out is Venus is square Jupiter and trine Saturn, and also square Neptune. So we've got Venus to Neptune, Venus to Saturn, and Venus to Jupiter. And this is really important because Venus is answering to Gemini and Mercury, because Venus is in Gemini and Mercury is ruled by Gemini. So Venus was answering to Taurus, but now she's answering to the Gemini energy. And with this new moon, she's talking and she's communicating about who she is going to partner with, who and what is going along with you on this new journey through these seeds that you're going to be planting for this new moon. This is really important because these are the partnerships and the people that we're taking with us on this very long journey that's starting. This is playing into that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that we had in December 20th. So this is a part of that 20-year cycle. Who is coming with you on the next 20 years of your life? And this is a part of that dream that you have and that vision. The Neptune there is showing us where our dreams are, where we're headed towards, what would be ideal, what would be beneficial for our highest good, for spiritual purposes, for collective purposes, for our deepest healing, and wishes and hopes and desires. Okay, who are the people that are coming in your life during this time? And so, you know, Venus is in Gemini. Venus is very light and flirty and airy, and fun in Gemini. It's not like a vicious energy or anything like that. It's a very chatty energy. It's very curious and clever. I guess it could be a little bit trickster because of the, you know, the Mercury archetype is Hermes in Greco-Roman mythology, and Hermes has an ability to be a little bit trickster sometimes. So we want to be careful, and not everybody that enters our life during this time might be around for the full cycle. Perhaps they have a lesson to teach us in some way or another. However, this Venus energy is playing a very strong role in the partnerships and the people that we are incorporating in, and the values. You want to also think about your values, what's important to you, what is not material. It's deeper values than the material, and what is important to you that you want to bring on during this next cycle with this new moon. It's very, very potent. With this energy too, you can leave heavy emotional stuff out now, because this is a time to release it, to let go, because this new moon is going to get you what you want and where you want to go. But it's asking you, because there is, let me get rid of this. There's a trine to Pluto, and this is very important because this trine to Pluto is also activating some of the energy that we had started with the COVID clump that started in 2020. Okay, and Pluto especially has been lurking in the depths of the underworld and taking up everything that needed to be seen into the light, so that we could heal it, so that we could change it, we could reinvent it, we could redo it. So that these grips on the underworld of the fear and anger and hate, and turmoil and unrest, these Pluto realms don't have a hold on us anymore. And so with this new moon, the sun and the moon are going to be making a trine to Pluto, which will actually be making a grand trine to Virgo over here on the ascendant. But this is asking you to, how do I put this lightly? This is asking you to let go of what stuff has been coming up over the last few weeks, and what deep transformations needed to happen, what was revealed perhaps over the Scorpio full moon, what patterns or old thoughts or beliefs don't resonate anymore. What are you ready to let go of for good, and not let it have a grip on you anymore? It's definitely a time, I think, and if you've been listening to other astrologers as well, you might hear like this time is a very crazy energy time, and the eclipses are coming. And one of my favorite astrologers, Anne Ortley, she's just like, the eclipses are coming, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so scared. But like, if we could just step back and like let it happen and like look at everything and release. I think just a huge part of this new moon is to release what is no longer serving you, and accept it. And then you have totally made room for the new. And like I said earlier, with the new moon, we don't know what it's going to bring us in the future, right? Because we're in the dark period with this new moon. However, we do know that it's going to bring us growth somehow, some way. There's light and dark in everything. But if we keep a positive mindset over this, it will help you not get dragged by the energy, but really just be in the car driving it, or as a passenger, whatever. You'd rather be driving your own car, really, but instead of getting dragged by the energy. And this is one of the good things about astrology, is that it's tough. And like even for myself, going through Pluto on my Saturn transit, that's going to last for the next year or so, whatever, and then it hits a bunch of my other planets. But knowing and having some guidance and having some reason or an insight into your chart. Why is this happening? Where is it happening? What can change? I don't think that I would have been able to do some of the deep transformational work that I have been doing without the use of astrology to actually pinpoint sometimes what is really hard for us to see for ourselves, if that makes sense. And I hope that is, because sometimes we can get caught up in everything happening around us or to us, but we're not looking at ourselves, and we should always be looking at ourselves in every situation, and how we can do better or improve ourselves, or find the inner truth and the inner light of some sort, so that we can bring healing to ourselves. Because ultimately, it's not going to be anybody else that brings you the healing. It's going to be you. It's going to be the work that you choose to do, that you choose to put into yourself, and the self-realization and the self-actualization. And that is where the transformation will begin. And with Pluto active in everyone's chart in a certain area and place, that's going to be asking you to do some work there, and for some will experience it heavier than others. But there is a deep inner work that needs to be brought in around this time. And if you don't see it now, I think it will be presented to you over the next few weeks, especially with the eclipse. Okay. So just sit back with this energy, relax, make a really good manifestation ritual tomorrow for the new moon, and try to be a little bit more mercurial with all this mercurial energy. You don't have to make choices. You don't have to act. All you have to do is sit back and take in the information, and then you can just figure out what you want to do with it. I will give you some advice. I have a new moon manifestation article. I'll link it in the description below. I write my articles on Medium, and they're also on my blog, www.astroroots.com. If you would like to read how to do a new moon ritual manifestation, I really like to give practical, useful tips and advice for new moon and full moon manifestations, because I don't think it has to be anything fancy. It's more about the intention and how you feel. And I set the intention and then release it and let it go. And don't try not to obsess over your manifestation. Just try to deeply put love and power and thought. Be really clear around this new moon. Be like super crystal clear about what you want. I'll also put the gestation cycle. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't have the full dates for the gestation cycle for this new moon, but I will put the links down below so that everyone knows that the new moon, the seeds that you plant now, yes, they will have a 30-day cycle, but they will also have a 27-month cycle. So you won't, we'll have to wait till the full moon in this to see it really come to full light. But this is very important time, very important energy, very busy, very roller coastery kind of week, but just stay grounded, nurture yourself, nurture yourself, take care of yourself. And we will get through it together. So everyone, I appreciate you being here with me for the new moon video. Took me a lot to do this this week because I'm just experiencing some very heavy transits, but I appreciate the astrology community. It has changed my life. And so I hope that I will help others on their journey as well, on my own journey, on my scenic route. If you vibed with this video, please give me a like, please give me a subscribe, and share it with your friends. And I will catch you for eclipse season coming up. Thanks so much and have a good day.